In the bustling city of Evergreen, where skyscrapers pierced the sky like ambitious dreams and the streets hummed with the relentless pulse of ambition, lived a man named Alex Harper, a dedicated architect whose life seemed picture-perfect until the shadows of deceit began to creep in, starting with his wife, Elena, a charismatic marketing executive whose charm masked a web of secrets that would soon unravel everything he held dear. For Alex had married Elena 5 years ago in a whirlwind romance that blossomed during a corporate retreat in the mountains, where her laughter echoed like music and her eyes sparkled with promises of forever. But little did he know that beneath her affectionate facade lay a heart entangled in lies, fueled by her affair with his best friend, Mark, who was not only his college buddy but also his business partner at Harper and Associates, the firm they built from scratch with late-night sketches and shared visions of grandeur. Yet Mark's envy simmered quietly, coveting Alex's talent and the life he had crafted. So when Elena confided in Mark about her dissatisfaction, claiming Alex was neglectful and obsessed with work, they hatched a plan to dismantle his world, beginning with whispers of infidelity that Elena planted among their social circle, accusing Alex of cheating with his secretary. A baseless rumor that spread like wildfire through dinner parties and office gossip, turning friends into skeptics and colleagues into accusers. And one fateful evening, as Alex returned home from a grueling day finalizing a major project that could elevate their firm to new heights, he found Elena waiting with tears streaming down her face, flanked by Mark and a few mutual friends, who confronted him with fabricated evidence, doctored messages on his phone that Elena had slyly altered during his sleep, photos of him at a bar with a woman who was actually a client, twisted into something sinister, and bank statements showing mysterious withdrawals that Mark had manipulated through their joint accounts, all pointing to Alex as the villain, the cheater, the thief who was siphoning company funds for personal gain. And in that heated confrontation, voices rose like a storm, Elena screaming about betrayal while Mark played the righteous protector, urging the group to see Alex for the monster he supposedly was. And before Alex could defend himself, stammering in shock as the accusations piled on, they kicked him out of his own home, changing the locks that very night as Elena filed for a restraining order based on invented fears of violence, leaving Alex standing on the curb with nothing but a suitcase hastily packed by strangers' hands, his world crumbling as the rain poured down, mirroring the torrent of despair in his heart. But this was only the beginning, for the lies didn't stop there, spreading to his professional life where Mark, now in control, convinced the board that Alex had been embezzling, leading to his swift termination and blacklisting in the industry, whispers following him like ghosts as potential employers turned him away, and Elena, playing the victim flawlessly, initiated divorce proceedings, demanding half of everything, including the firm he had poured his soul into, citing emotional abuse and infidelity as grounds, her lawyer painting Alex as a narcissistic manipulator who deserved nothing. And as the court dates loomed, Alex found himself in a dingy apartment on the outskirts of town, scraping by on freelance gigs that barely covered rent, his once vibrant spirit dimmed by isolation and doubt, questioning if he had somehow brought this upon himself, replaying every moment of their marriage in his mind, from the joyful wedding vows exchanged under a canopy of stars to the subtle shifts when Elena started working late, her phone buzzing with messages she hid, and Mark's increasing presence at family gatherings, his jokes laced with underlying barbs. But Alex had trusted them blindly, believing in the bonds of love and friendship, now shattered into irreparable pieces. Yet amid the ruins, a spark ignited when he stumbled upon an old journal in his suitcase, filled with sketches of innovative designs he had set aside for the firm's safer projects, inspiring him to rebuild, starting small by entering an international architecture contest anonymously, pouring his pain into blueprints that envisioned sustainable cities rising from chaos. And as weeks turned to months, the divorce hearings became battlegrounds of perjury, Elena testifying with crocodile tears about Alex's supposed rages, Mark corroborating with falsified emails. But Alex's lawyer, a tenacious underdog named Sarah who believed in his innocence after hearing his side, began chipping away at their stories, uncovering inconsistencies like timestamps that didn't match and witnesses who recanted under pressure, hinting at the conspiracy, though the judge remained skeptical, awarding temporary alimony to Elena that drained Alex's meager savings, forcing him to sell his car and pawn his watch, symbols of his former success now reduced to survival tools. But in the quiet nights, Alex honed his craft, his contest entry gaining traction among judges who praised its originality, unaware of the man behind it, and just as the divorce neared its climax, with Elena poised to claim victory, Alex received news that would shift the tides. He won the contest, a prestigious award with a $1 million prize and contracts pouring in from global firms eager for his vision, but he kept it secret, biding his time as the lies that expelled him began to fray at the edges. Elena and Mark growing complacent in their stolen life, hosting lavish parties in the home that was once his, toasting to their future while Alex plotted in the shadows, his heart hardening into resolve, for the divorce wasn't just an end, it was the catalyst that would expose their deceit and turn their world upside down. But for now, in this chapter of exile and awakening, Alex endured, transforming betrayal into fuel, his story a testament to resilience amid the storm of falsehoods that had stripped him bare, yet promised a reckoning on the horizon, where truth would emerge like dawn breaking through the darkest night, illuminating the path to justice and rebirth. And as he stared at the city lights from his modest window, Alex whispered to himself that this was not defeat, but the forging of a stronger self, ready to reclaim what was rightfully his and more. The lies that kicked him out now sowing the seeds of their own destruction. Chapter 1 closing on a note of quiet anticipation, the calm before the upheaval that would redefine everything. As the divorce decree loomed like a guillotine over the remnants of Alex's former life, he stepped into the courtroom with a quiet confidence that belied the turmoil within, his lawyer Sarah by his side clutching a folder brimming with evidence painstakingly gathered over months of investigation. For while Elena and Mark reveled in their ill-gotten gains, expanding the firm with projects Alex had conceptualized but never credited for, the truth began to unravel through a private investigator Sarah hired, who uncovered deleted emails between Elena and Mark detailing their affair and the plot to frame Alex, including recordings of hushed conversations in coffee shops where they laughed about how easily he fell, and bank records traced back to Mark's offshore account where the embezzled funds actually resided, funneled there to finance their lavish lifestyle. And in that pivotal hearing, as Elena took the stand once more, her poise cracking under Sarah's relentless cross-examination, the judge's eyes widened at the presented proof, screenshots, witness affidavits from former employees who admitted to being coerced, and even a confession from Elena's own sister who could no longer stomach the deception, revealing how Elena had bragged about the scheme during a family dinner, and as the gavel struck, declaring the marriage dissolved but awarding Alex full restitution, including ownership of the firm and damages for slander, Elena's face drained of color, her empire of lies collapsing in real time, while Mark, subpoenaed as a witness, stammered excuses that only deepened his grave, leading to fraud charges that would strip him of his license and freedom. But this was merely the spark, for Alex's contest win exploded into the public eye, headlines blaring about the visionary architect rising from obscurity, interviews flooding in as firms vied for his partnership, his designs revolutionizing urban planning worldwide. And with the influx of wealth, Alex didn't just reclaim his home, he transformed it into a symbol of triumph, hosting galas for underprivileged artists while Elena, now disgraced and penniless after the court ordered her to repay alimony with interest, found herself evicted from the luxury apartment Mark had rented, her social circle abandoning her like rats from a sinking ship, whispers now turning against her as the truth spread virally on social media, posts detailing her downfall trending under hashtags like #JusticeForAlex, and Mark, facing trial, saw his once promising career reduced to ashes, his pleas for mercy falling on deaf ears as former colleagues testified to his manipulations. But Alex, ever the architect of fate, extended an olive branch not out of forgiveness but strategy, offering Mark a plea deal that exposed more accomplices, ensuring no loose ends. And as the dust settled, Alex stood atop his new empire, a conglomerate merging architecture with sustainable tech, his personal life blooming anew with a genuine connection to Sarah, who had become more than a lawyer, a confidant and partner in every sense. Their romance kindled in the fires of adversity, walks in the park turning to shared dreams of a future untainted by betrayal, while Elena, reduced to waitressing in a dingy diner on the city's edge, glimpsed Alex's success on billboards, her regret a bitter pill swallowed daily, and Mark, behind bars, reflected on the friendship he destroyed for greed, his world truly upside down. But the story's power lay in Alex's transformation, from victim to victor, a narrative that inspired countless others facing injustice to persevere, for in the end, the lies that kicked him out forged a path to unparalleled heights, turning divorce into deliverance, And as the credits of this tale would roll in a visual adaptation, viewers would be left breathless, pondering the fragility of trust and the strength of truth, a reminder that every downfall can prelude a rise. Chapter 2, sealing the epic with redemption's sweet embrace. If you enjoyed this thrilling story of betrayal, resilience, and ultimate triumph, hit that subscribe button right now for more captivating scripts, exclusive behind-the-scenes insights, and stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Don't miss out, subscribe today and join our community of story lovers.